Hey, how you guys doing? Boo. Welcome to the show. So, coming on a little early tonight. I was feeling, I just ate some shawarma and garlic potatoes, so I got a little energy in me right now, so I figured I would get on, cover a couple thingies. So, yeah, if you don't mind, hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Welcome to the stream if this is your first time here. My name is Uncle Stef. So, yeah. Let me get rid of this thing. So we're going to try this new setup here. Let me know what you think. So, can you guys hear me clearly? Let me know if the sound is clear, first of all. Can you hear me? Let me know. I will wait to get a response from you guys before we get into it. So if you can hear me, yeah, just let me know in the comments. Say, we can hear you. There's always a bit of a delay, so that's why I'm talking. If you can hit the like button, please. Give me the thumbs, if you will. It's good for the Google algorithms. If you hate me, give me 2 thumbs down. If you like me, give me 1 thumbs up. Hey, how are you, Matthew? How are you? Whoa, let's get back here. All right. Good. Late night. Should we do 20,000 tutorials? Yeah, sounds good. All right, good. So I'm going to jump into the subject at hand, and then I will, cool, sounds good. Okay, appreciate it, everybody. Thank you. So I'm going to jump into the subject at hand, and then we'll do a little bit of Q&A. So, tutorials. Why you shouldn't do 10,000 tutorials. So first of all, what I recommend in terms of doing tutorials, I have a distinction between tutorial and course. Tutorial is a walkthrough, how to build a Twitter clone with React, how to build, a Facebook clone with Python Django, et cetera, those type of things where they walk you through step-by-step building things. First of all, you should only approach tutorials when you've done the fundamentals. Before, for example, we'll talk about web, because that's what I do for the most part. Before you approach a tutorial on how to build something with whatever technology in web, you should first understand the underlying technologies of the web, HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, understand web browsers, how code is processed, request response cycle, client, server, computers. You have to understand all these things fairly well. And then you jump into maybe 1 or 2 tutorials. That's it. I feel that a lot of people get caught up in tutorial hell, as they call it, because they don't have the confidence to be able to actually just jump into doing something, building something. There's this assumption, I think, that perhaps if they do just the right tutorial or the right number of tutorials, that they'll gain all the knowledge they need. The problem with that thinking is that a big part about being a developer is being able to discover and think about things, to be able to take complexity and to break it down into its simple components, and then you build from there. You're not going to get that so much from a tutorial. You get that by actually building something. If you've ever done martial arts, it's kind of like the difference between doing katas. You know, they do punch, block, doing katas forms where everything is a sequence of moves. You got to remember the sequence. That's not going to make you a fighter. It's going to help you a little bit with body mechanics and balance and so forth, but it's not going to be a fighter. You have to jump into the ring because a fight is dynamic. And the same thing about being a software developer. You have to be able to be an on-the-fly problem solver. So, I guess that's it. That's what it is. Yeah, another thing, last point about tutorials I want to bring up. When you see a tutorial how to build XYZ with XYZ technology, what you are seeing is a way of doing it. It may not be the best way. It may be a great way. It may be a bad way, but it's not the only way. And there is no project out there that I've ever seen where the criteria for completing the project is the same. So you may build, for example, an e-commerce shop using some particular tutorial. But then when you hit an actual real e-commerce project which you have to develop, you're going to find that the parameters of the real project are going to break out of the limitations of the tutorial. Again, I'm not criticizing tutorials. I just think that there's a little bit too much people are using them too much of a crutch. Kind of reminds me of perma students in university where they just keep on changing their majors over and over again. And 7 years later, they got a massive amount of school debt. They haven't developed any marketable skills. Again, the perpetual student or the perpetual tutorial taker, the people in tutorial hell, these are people who just don't want to take that leap into the real world of development. So that's the key to all of this. You got to be able to take that leap. So you learn your fundamentals, do 1 to 2 small tutorials, then you jump into the real game. And yeah, the first one's going to be rough. You're going to have to figure things out on the fly, look it up. That's how I did my very first project, my first database-driven website. That's what we used to call web apps back in the 90s. I had never worked with databases before, and I had never done server-side programming before. I've done a lot of client-side stuff, but I did a little bit of Perl CGI, but that's, it was really basic stuff. Anyway, I just took on the gig, and I just learned on the fly, and that's how you're going to learn. That's going to force you to, when you hit those problematic areas, you're going to start breaking down complexity, figuring out what to do, and you'll develop those muscles, if you will, in your brain. You got to develop the problem-solving brain muscles. It's not all formulaic. Development is actually very little formula, relatively speaking. So there you go. That's pretty much, in a nutshell, the point of this video. How did I get? I did it in like less than 10 minutes. Very good. All right, so what do you think, by the way, of this dual camera setup? I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. We'll see what Matthew from the mentoring program is a professional developer, and he's been, so he knows what he's talking about. Toots don't teach you how to problem solve and build things. So let me try that again. You have to jump into the deep end and figure stuff out as you go. Exactly, Matthew. Bingo. He's a developer, knows what he's doing. Hey, are you guys double guns, single guns, double guns? If you got, I don't let anybody work for me if they can't do this naturally. If they can't do this, they're out. And if they want to be a senior developer, they have to be able to do double guns on the fly like this. See, I don't have to force it. Anyway, I stole this from Star Trek. Code long and prosper. All right, so there we go. We covered that subject. Is clean code important, or does it not matter as long as the code works? No, clean code is very important. In fact, clean code is an indicator of a competent developer. Messy, dirty code is an indicator of a not so competent developer. That being said, when you got tight deadlines, you're working on projects, you may find yourself in a situation where the code gets a little dirty. It happens. But that's where you do refactoring. Links below to a book on refactoring. Refactoring is just a process of cleaning up code. But yeah, no, clean code is very important because the first version of the software is just the beginning of the life cycle of a successful application. Good applications will be updated on a regular basis, so you better have clean code because it's a real pain to be updating code that is not clean. It's like you just don't want to go there. All right, so yeah, by the way, hit the thumbs, guys. The thumbs to viewership ratio sucks. If you can give me a thumbs, I would really appreciate it. Double cam guns, it's great. Yeah. What do you guys think of the double cam guns? This is cam number 1. That's cam number 2. We're up in the game here. How's the sound? I'm trying to improve the sound. I got the mic a little bit closer now, so see how that goes. Should I be a boxer, a drummer, or a coder? You can be all 3, but you're going to make your money in coding unless you're super exceptional in the previous 2. Which used mostly for front-end development, OOP or functional programming? It's going to be OOP, of course. OOP is by far dominant. Any thoughts on Vandam framework? I've never used it. It's a front-end tech usually used with Java Spring. I have never used it, so I don't have a comment on that. Okay, what else do we got here? Hey, Stefan, I'm excited about your mentorship program. I appreciate it. We're going to be doing some new updates to it soon. Be releasing that, let's say the 21st, probably early September. Mid-September. I think, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, if anybody, some of you may know, I've been dealing with, I think it's long COVID. So fatigued and nerve damage, all kinds of stuff over the last few months, in fact. So I pulled out all the stops, going with the Chinese herbs and all the vitamins and doing all kinds of stuff. Now I'm going for this type of stuff tomorrow. Can we be able to see? All right. I guess not. Oh, well. I got to fix my focus. Hyperbaric tubing. I'll be hyperbaric tubing. I'll be like Michael Jackson going inside the air chamber. Apparently it works wonders. Let's find out tomorrow. Tutorials are fine, but everyone has a plan until the bug punches them in the face. That's a good point. Good. Hey, Steph, I'm learning to code, thinking, whoops, let me get this back in. Thinking of code, looking to blog my progress as a way of having to explain what I've learned. Helps it all sink in. What are your thoughts? Yeah, for sure. One of the things that if you go to certain martial arts schools, especially the Chinese schools, they would have the intermediate students start teaching the beginners, just the basic stuff. Why? Because when you're teaching beginners, which I've done, it forces you to really think about what you're doing and to refine it. I've had that when I was developing my first code courses back in the day. Yo, I am. So yeah, so blogging it, why not? I think blogging it would be a good thing. What else do we got here? Hello, welcome to the stream. Hope everybody's good. What else? I'm going down. I'm just getting to some questions here. Is it just me or everyone went through this? I am a junior student studying software engineering, but I feel like I don't know anything at this point because I have not done any real projects yet. Well, yeah, when you start out, everything is unclear. You got to understand, when you're learning something that has a certain amount of complexity, like software development, coding, etc., of course, you're not going to get it all at first, because if you got it easily, then it wouldn't be worth anything. Anything that is worth anything has a level of difficulty initially. That's one of the main reasons why software development is such a high-paying, coding, software development is such a high-paying career versus so many others, because there is that barrier to entry, and a lot of people hit that wall and they just crumble and they run away. So the amount of new jobs coming online are always outpacing the amount of new coders. So when you hit that barrier to entry, you just got to keep working, get over it. Once you get over that hump where you understand it, then it becomes all pretty clear. And it becomes much more approachable. But a lot of people, as soon as they hit a little bit of pressure, they wilt. That's why in the mentoring program, I added training for the brain, the Lizard Wizard training. I created that specifically for the mentoring program. So that's what, yeah. So that's normal. That's normal with regards to, how you feel now. Just keep working at it. You'll get there. Do you think web dev has become oversaturated, and would mobile dev be a less competitive way to go for a new self-dev taught dev? No. I have said in several videos that I feel that mobile is going to be more and more mobile is going to be done with web technologies. Think PWA as an example, or just simple responsive websites. So if you want the most opportunity in terms of jobs, I would learn web, because you can do mobile, you can do desktop now, you do web, of course, there's front end, back end, there's all these different options for you. Then there's Flutter 3. Flutter 3 is looking really interesting. The ability to target so many platforms is compelling. Yeah, somebody was on yesterday's stream, and he says he's using it, and he says he really digs it. So that's something to definitely consider. Is it okay to watch tuts, but the problem is that people keep buying them and never watch them in a serious manner, I guess you meant. This is a nasty strategy of websites like Udemy. Yeah, perhaps. Which is more important, learning syntax of a language or thinking procedural as a programmer? Lyrics, I'm not sure how to answer that question. You have to learn the basic constructs of the language. The syntax, the first time you learn programming, the syntax, I guess, can be a challenge. But then once you've learned how to write code, then learning another language's syntax is not a big deal. I'm not sure what you mean by thinking procedurally. Are you talking about procedural programming, or are you just saying learning how to write code in an ordered manner? I've been coding for about 3 years with Vue and Node. Most jobs in the area use React or SQL or other tech I haven't learned yet. Should I learn the new tech or build a portfolio of new skills I have? Well, do you have a job now? Are you looking for a new job? That's the question you should ask. I would be asking, do you have a new job that you want to get? If you want to get a new job and you want to do React, then learn React. I go, Stef, what makes a senior engineer a senior? Well, first of all, they have experience, A. B, they know how to structure projects from a macro level, if you will. And they just have that, they're able to extract requirements from the end users and be able to then execute on what information they extracted from the end user and then put together the application accordingly, if that makes any sense. What do you think about Nest.js, Uncle Stef? Haven't used it. There's so many JS libraries and stuff out there. It's like, it's almost, I don't even bother trying to keep up. What don't you like from tutorials nowadays, Stefan? For me, it's tutorials that last like 8 hours. What you don't like from tutorials now? I covered that, Jesus, in the beginning of the stream. Why I don't think you should be doing many tutorials. 1 or 2, then move on. It's hard to make YouTube videos of the quality of yours. Is it hard to make YouTube videos of the quality of yours? What do you mean? In terms of my presentation or in terms of my videos? Let me know what you think, what you're talking about there. Is there anything at all you recommend before trying one of your courses, or is it fine to start with zero experience? Yeah, my courses are designed for people who have zero experience. Well, if you do my curriculum, rather. So if you do my web curriculum, it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you can go on to PHP and SQL, then I have Python. But all my courses are, I assume that you know nothing. So if you jump into the Python, I assume you know nothing. If you jump into the JavaScript, well, I assume that you know HTML and CSS. PHP, I assume you know HTML and CSS. SQL, I don't assume you know anything. Lizzy Wizzy, that's Lizard Wizard. Yeah. Do less people download apps on the App Store these days? I know I hardly use it. Any idea what it is? I haven't looked at the statistic in terms of how many people are downloading, but I am, like you, reluctant to download a bunch of apps because that's a security risk, first of all. And so, I don't like I prefer using websites or PWAs unless it's an app or an application. Well, unless it's an application that I'm using quite often. And if I see an advantage of going to their native app, if they have it, then I would do it. So how many people are downloading? I don't know. But I know one story I remember reading where Starbucks had developed, they had a native app, and then they went and implemented, I think it was a PWA, and they said once they went web-based with their mobile application, their usage jumped up 50%. Right? I think it's because it's non-committal. You don't have to install and download, and depends on the type of thing. If it's like a restaurant app, I think less people are going to be willing to install a restaurant app. Maybe if it's an exercise app, they would in that case because there's more buy-in, if you will. But if you just wanted to order McDonald's burgers or something, I don't know. It's not something I would do. Just using McDonald's as an example. Greetings, Jamming Coder. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for coming. Now, which camera are we on? Oh, we're on this camera now. Camera B. All right. When can you say you have learned, master a programming language? When you have mastered it, you will know. You won't need me to tell you. Uncle Stef, do you prefer dark mode over light mode? Personally, I've always been a light mode type of guy. Dark mode makes my eyes sleepy. So that's just me, though. I'm a dark mode type of guy. How do you see AI ML in the future? It has a long future. It's still very early days. Yeah. FB did Lizard Wizard Komodo. Facebook. Who's FB? What's FB did Wizard? That's true. Lizard Wizard Komodo. Look at the link below. It's an email-based training course on your mind. It's free. Just sign up and you can start that off. You're welcome. Is freelancing contract work still feasible for someone who's unable to travel, i.e. someone with a disability? 100%. Especially nowadays, you can do everything remote, Zoom and so on, you know. So yeah, you don't need to be, you don't need to travel to see clients. Don't worry about that. Is it hard to make YouTube videos in general? It depends, you know. If you look at, I must have like 2,000 videos now just on YouTube, and I've taken down a lot offline. I had to practice. Whatever skill I have now, you decide. I had to practice. Let me tell you, man, early ones, it was a lot more work back in, 4 or 5 years ago to get something out than it is today. It was a lot more work because I just know what I'm doing now in every level in terms of the hardware, camera, mics, in terms of just presentation. New here, welcome to the stream. I'm new to coding. I have a chance to change my job for the military with a focus on network security. I don't feel it will help me with web development. Not sure what I want to do. I would explore what network security is all about, like in terms of the day-to-day. I'm sure you can find that on YouTube or on the web. Network security job. What's it like? Blah, blah. Get a feel for it before you commit to the military, because, there are associated risks with that. And also check out what web development is like on a day-to-day. See what people are saying. Get multiple opinions. They're both good avenues. I'm a bigger believer in any type of job or profession where you're building things as opposed to maintaining things. So in network security, you're more or less maintaining systems and updating stuff, whereas web development, any type of development, you're creating things. So I think there's greater opportunity in the development space in general, but you could probably do very well in network security if that's what you like. But because it's military, I will look 2 or 3 times before jumping into that situation. I assume you're in the U.S. You went to Texas and Florida, both super liberal and restrictions. Now you got COVID. Is it coincidence or correlation? I got COVID many months after. How many months after? I got back from Florida and Texas in February. March, April. I think I got my COVID exposure in April. So long after I got back from those states. What inspired you to start YouTube? Your channel is my favorite YouTube channel. Thank you. Appreciate that. I had many years ago, it was 8-10 years ago, you can go back, I had one of my assistants throw up a bunch of videos from courses from that time. Just throw it up, see what happens. And then I did an occasional video here and there. You can see I was doing them in my loft at the time. And then I forgot about the channel for several years. And then a couple of friends of mine who are social media marketers, they said, you got 10,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. I said, oh yeah, is that a lot? He goes, yeah, you should build it up. So I thought about it and I said, I know I'm going to do YouTube videos just for fun. I wanted to become more comfortable with cameras and speaking in front of camera. So I talk my walk. I tell people, if you want to learn how to code, write code every day. So I said, okay, I'm going to get a camera and every day for 1 year, I'm going to do a video. 1 video a day for a year, 365. And that's what I did. Actually, I did for 2 years, 1 video a day, 365 days. And I said, that's how you get good. When I wanted to learn how to fight, I just got in a ring and I fought. Got in a ring and I fought. And when I learned how to code, I just wrote code, until I got it. When I wanted to learn how to do video, I said, I'm going to just do a video a day and just get good at it. What I should have done, though, is taken a couple of courses, I think, with videographers. I would have saved myself a couple of years. But it was like a hobby of mine, so I wasn't taking it super seriously. And then the YouTube channel just built. That's it. It was not an intentional thing. If you don't mind, guys, we got 100 people, not bad. No, it's 97. Give me some thumbs. I would appreciate it. I've heard some suggest to only focus on front end until getting first job and learn back end. They often point to a common mistake of too many courses focusing on full stack. No. You can do both. You can do both, front end, back end. Wordy is web-based. If it was an app, I wouldn't have downloaded. There you go. Hey, Stef, really love your content. Wanted to ask, I've been learning web dev for almost, I've been learning web dev for almost 9 months now through a course and still feel like not ready despite studying and getting my hands dirty in code. Well, I don't know how dirty in code you've gotten. Maybe you haven't gotten dirty enough. But what I have people do in the mentoring programs, they build their first site, then they go out and do 2 to 3 free freelance projects. They get their hands dirty with code, working with people, and they're supported along the way. And after you've done that, your confidence level will really jump up because you have done it. It's like fighting. The first time you step in the ring, the box, or whatever type of fighting you're going to do, it could be nerve-wracking, right? You get facing up your opponent for the first time. But after you've been in the ring, 20 times, you start getting pretty confident about it. Let's go, What do you consider a project? What is the base level where you would consider it a project? Any project is a project, It could be a simple 2-page site is a project, Is doing 10,000 tutorials enough? Well, if you watch the beginning, I say you should only do 1 or 2 and then build things for real. Should I learn JavaScript in 2022? If you want to learn JavaScript, learn it. There's lots of opportunity. I'm encouraging my 11-year-old son to learn programming. Do you know about kid-friendly methods to learning code? Yeah, check out my Python course. It's universal. I designed them like Harry Potter books, designed that kids could learn from them and adults. I have middle school students and up learning with my material, and I have college students, and I have people in their 70s. So it all works. FB in chat asks for Lizard Wizard 50% off. FB, Facebook in chat for Lizard Wizard 50% off. I don't understand. I understand. You're talking about the 50% off task. Is game development worse than any other software development role? Depends on the company you're working for. Let's see here. I want to learn Java as a back-end language. The reason is not only because I want to learn it for the back-end, I also want to read Robert Sedgwick's Algorithms book. What are your thoughts on that? Well, you don't need to know Java to learn a book on algorithms. For most programming, unless you're getting into game engine development or you're getting into AI, ML development, maybe some data science, algorithms are not important for most coding. I really love your comment. I want to say I get the motivation, I would say, I think he's saying, to learn from your videos, your reason why I decided to learn PHP, and I'm in love with it. Best of luck. Hey, glad I could help, Yusufs. Thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for letting me know. How are we doing? 30 minutes already. Every Python tutorial starts with how to install Python. There's no advancement in tutorial hell. That's it, because the tutorial maker, they have to assume a certain level of knowledge or lack of knowledge. But if it's an advanced tutorial, they shouldn't be telling you how to install Python. Yeah, coding every day counts. Consistency is king. 100%. Hey, Stef. I've been studying Java for 4 months now. I know quite a few things, but I'm still confused. If I should prioritize practicing solving problems or theory sometimes, I find it quite difficult. You should be writing more and more code. in the beginning, you do theory to a certain extent, and maybe like 80% theory, but you should be writing code every day nonetheless. But as month 4, you should be spending most of your time writing code and exploring theory via the process of writing code. I hope that makes sense. How did you find the consistency to do a video every day? I get distracted so easily. I'm just like that. I decided I was going to do a video a day, and I did a video a day. I remember those one video a day. Look where your channel is now. Go on you. Yeah, you remember those days. That's going way back. Yeah. What do you feel are the risk? What do you feel the risk of network security for the military? I would prefer to stick with web development, but I know I can have instant work experience in network security for the military. Well, I'm just wondering about the your obligations to the military. You might be deployed. What do you consider a project? What is the base level where you consider a project? Okay, I can answer that. Do you have any examples of what good software dev resume looks like? I don't have one at the tip of my fingers. Maybe I should put one out. I talk about that in several videos. I talk about software developer resume should be tailored towards the job that you're going after, emphasizing those skill sets. What about Ruby? Haha, joking. Yeah, I'm taking a little break from my Ruby jokes for a while, but I'll get back to them. I'm addicted to tutorials. Have you got a tutorial to help me stop? That's good. First task. Oh, he's talking to FP. Can I get a Lizard Wizard 50% off? Okay. Now I get it. A little slow. Long COVID's making me dumb. Books and tutorials are usually not very advanced because the goal is to sell maximum number of copies, so it must be for the masses. Yeah, well, that's what sells, Advanced people tend to, for whatever reasons, not want to buy advanced books or videos for the most part. I kind of have a different niche here. What I do here is I cover very basics, fundamentals. Not so much in these discussions, but I also cover very high-level discussions as well. The middle stuff, I don't cover too often. I have, but I kind of do at both ends. Okay, so any other questions, guys? How are we doing? Almost 40 minutes in. So there you go. Once again, how's the sound today? I guess it's is it better? Anybody who was listening yesterday, is the sound better for you guys today? And what else? What are you going to do? Dual cameras. If it's the first time you guys seen the dual cameras, let me know. Okay, so yeah, before we're done here, could you say greetings from where you happen to be in the world? Greetings from New York. Greetings from Los Angeles, etc., etc. I noticed the Naked Ape in your bio. Any non-programming related books? Any other non-programming related books would you recommend? Yeah, check out my previous stream. I recommend a few. Yeah, I'm going to bring out more of from my collection of books that I think people should read, you find interesting. I've been watching lectures of CS50 and doing projects via a lot of college courses I see from universities. Do you find these an effective way to learn, or would be better off going a different route? Well, you do it to a limited extent. Do 1 or 2 projects, and then you got to go out and build real things, okay? How much time will you consider healthy to be coding per day? I say maximum 3 to 4 hours of hardcore debugging, problem solving. And if you're going to need to do more, if you do more, do lightweight, mentally light work, like, documentation or something. Read documentation, break down large problems and smaller problems, get your hands dirty. That's what helped me to avoid tutorials. Exactly, that's what you do. Greetings from the UK, from Buenos Aires. Greetings from Jamaica. Greetings from San Diego, California, New Jersey, Mexico. Sound is perfect. Dual camera is a nice touch. I appreciate the feedback on that. Thank you. Greetings from Los Angeles. Massachusetts. Greetings from Melbourne, Australia. It's 10 a.m. here. Greetings from the Philippines. Greetings from the Andromeda Galaxy. Sir, I found your channel when COVID started. That's when I started the CODER'S. Have you had imposter syndrome in the past? I get it once in a while. Yeah, maybe in the 90s. I remember one time I had a discussion with a good friend of mine who had been coding for several years more than me at that point. And he did a lot of C and C++. I did a lot of web. So I would work on things, and I thought, I would blast through things in MVC-based projects, and then he would show me some of the stuff he was doing as deep C++, and I found it very hard to understand. But then I was surprised, and I had an imposter syndrome there. I said, wow, this guy understands all this stuff I don't understand. But then I realized on the flip side, he didn't understand all the web stuff very well. He had a very difficult time with that as well. So that was the limit of it. You get over it once you start building things and getting paid, right? When they sign over a nice big check to you, when you deliver your first project, you get over your imposter syndrome pretty quick. Philippines, Amsterdam, okay. Skip my question. I'll write it again. San Diego, Dubai, Algeria. Why are there so many Python tutorials? Because there's a demand. Just better today. Greetings from Sofia Conte, Romania. I don't know that place. I'm sure I said that wrong. Just started my first project in Java and have tomorrow my first interview. Thanks a lot for advices. No problem. You're welcome. Congratulations. Let us know how it goes. Bonsoir Stéphane. Oh, Stef. Salutations de Drummondville à Québec. Oh, Québec. So, salut. Greetings from Japan. Wow, very cool. 18 years in the service. Appreciate your insights. Ah, okay, so you're in the service already. So yeah, just check it out then. I had how many uncles? One uncle in the service. One of my uncles was an MP in the Canadian military, and one of my uncles was he's a cop. Greetings from the Philippines. Greetings. Stuck in tutorial hell. Any tips to escape? Tried to do projects of my own, but I get stuck and I feel not ready to feel like giving up. Any advice? Well, when you get stuck, start doing research and get yourself unstuck. Check out below. Lizard Wizard is my is my course on the operating systems of your brain, and is going to help you with your psychology. It'll help you understand why you feel certain ways and how you can deal with that in an effective manner. Yeah. There is a distinction between a tutorial and a proper course. As I said, tutorial is just a walkthrough. A course is structured, breaks down complexity. There's a method to it where we're building the students up in terms of their conceptual and practical abilities in terms of how to execute. That's why my courses are very effective. I've been working with schools for over a decade and developing a good curriculum. Yeah. Check out Dr. Sarno's book for your health symptoms. I've been doing a lot of research on that. I've been loading up with all kinds of vitamins, B12 complex, all kinds of different things. And I've been vitamin C and D and nutritional yeast. I'm doing Chinese traditional herbs now. And tomorrow, I'm doing a hyperbaric chamber. They put you in a big tube and they pressurize you. And then they inject 100% oxygen into you. And it's supposed to have tremendous health benefits. We're going to find out tomorrow. I appreciate it, though. Future plans for Uncle Stef. Well, right now, I'm just trying to get my body back tip-top. As you can see, as I'm doing more streams, it means I'm spending more time feeling better and less time feeling like I need to take a snooze. So that's good. That's number one. Health is more important than wealth. I'd rather be poor and healthy than rich and sick. That's what I tell people. Now, if you can be rich and healthy, That's fantastic. But so health before wealth every time for me. So I'm just taking care of that now. And hopefully, knock on wood, I'm almost done. And then I'm going to continue. What I really enjoy is the mentoring program, UncleStef.com, shameless plug. Links below. I'm expanding it again soon. About to release a bunch of updates. And it's been delayed because of my long COVID stuff. Been begging me out, but I got the developers and I got the designer working on the stuff. And that's going to be my focus, I think, over the next 6 months to a year. I really enjoy it. So those are the future plans, to expand and build that. So many coders suggest Python. I learned Python, then I found it's all data science. Why is it so popular? Because a lot of schools use Python to teach it, and a lot of beginners like Python because the code looks more human readable. That's it, you know. Like that's why I always tell people. I'm probably one of the only guys out there on YouTube, as far as I know. I'd say, listen, you learn your basics, but really you got to look at the job opportunities. You know, you can learn Python, but if you find Python, like you said, it's all data science. You're not a data scientist. It doesn't help you. Although nothing is wasted when you're learning to code. So if you learn Python, you learned it. If you never use Python commercially, it doesn't matter, because the skills and the understanding you got from learning Python are 100% transferable to any other language. So you can't lose. You can't choose the wrong language. That's why I tell people, don't worry about choosing the wrong language. It's almost an impossibility. Except for Ruby. You never want to learn Ruby by no means. All right. Wrong camera. There we go. Greetings from Venezuela. Stef, I'm self-taught. I've been watching the videos since the start. I just got my first job as a software engineer after 9 months. Hey, congratulations, man. Double guns. Good job. I'm glad I was able to help just a little bit there. How much JavaScript do I need to learn before learning React? When you're able to crawl the DOM, I like to say walking the DOM. When you understand the DOM and you can walk it, then you're ready to go. If you don't know what the DOM is, you're not ready. I'm looking to do some cellular automata in C#. I'm not too bothered about it being the ideal language, but what libraries would be a good place to start? Ooh, I've never done cellular automata in C#, so I couldn't say. Just look it up. C# cellular automata. Google it. We live in such great times with Google. When I was learning how to code, I had to go buy these books. I would go buy these books that are like $75 a crack, $60 a crack, and sometimes more. And I bought hundreds of those books over a few years, and I would read them all because the web was useless for finding information on coding at the time. You type in anything, it would get porn. Greetings, Bulgaria. Everything like that. Greetings from the Bronx, home of hip-hop, salsa, and all the best diverse cultural foods. Yeah, have I ever been to Bronx? I've been to New York City. I don't know if I've ever been to the Bronx. Chinese medicine, I prefer their blood cupping to the herbs. There are reports that some are actual drugs. Well, the herbs they can be very impactful. So you don't want to take the herbs on your own. You got to use a properly trained practitioner in TCM, and not some like I've only used people who actually were trained in China proper. It's like a 4 or 5 year training for them to be able to do proper TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. So I wouldn't use like a naturopath or something. No offense to them. When it comes to Chinese medicine, you got to be careful what you do because those things could be extremely powerful. Does working on building a website that I want to create while learning PHP help in the learning process? 100%. That's the first thing I have people do. Once they do my foundations training and my mentoring program, they do HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, PHP, SQL. I have them do some Python. And then I say, build a site. 100%. Do it. Stef, starting a web dev course, hoping to become your second billionaire student. Well, technically, he has $1 billion business. He's exceptionally wealthy, one of the richest people in the world now. I can't say he's a billionaire, though. Greetings from Montreal. Greetings, hey. Welcome to the stream. Greetings. Stef, back in the 90s, how did you find solutions before Google came? It was far more difficult. We used to go to Usenet, bulletin boards, right? Forums were big. What else? Books. I would have, that's why I had a stack of books. So I would have, I'd buy a bunch of, like, O'Reilly books were big as well. O'Reilly, so I'd buy a lot of reference books on, Java and JavaScript and C#, So I would say, how do you do this in C#? But I have a reference book from O'Reilly. That's what I would do. And I would just tinker and tinker and tinker. Good question. Hey, greetings. How are you, man? 2 a.m. South Africa. I'm Stef from the recent data science here. From a recent data science hire. Hey, congratulations, man. Congratulations. Good job. Why am I struggling to set up any kind of frameworks? Well, you got to learn. Do you know your basics? I don't know what, I assume web. Do you know your web well enough? Like the worst thing you can do is skip the fundamentals, try to jump into a framework or a library right away. You're just going to slow yourself down to a crawl and hit a wall. You got to do your basics. When to know when you're ready to internet. Which language is HTML, CSS, JS enough? To know, ready to internet. What do you mean to internet? HTML, CSS, and JS are enough to build a website. I would do a backend language as well, like PHP or JavaScript. Where to sell micro SaaS? Well, I don't know. It depends on the market, right? If you're selling B2B, it's a different game than if you're selling B2C. B2B is business-to-business sales. So selling a product for a business. B2C is business-to-client sales, like you were selling a drawing app for iPhone or something. It's not so much the size of the app that makes the difference about where you sell. It's the market that you're addressing. I don't think you get enough credit for the name Lizard Wizard. It's genius. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's. I came up with it because, and if you did the course, you understand why I came up with it. But there is a band that used that Lizard Wizard before me. I found that out after the case. But Lizard Wizard, basically, when you understand your lizard brain, you become a wizard. A wizard in traditional mysticism was a person who was a master of their environment. So lizard wizard. You understand the lizard, you become a wizard. That's it. And that's what the whole course is about. It's about understanding the two operating systems in your brain. You have one brain, but you got two operating systems. You got the primitive operating system, and in the sciences they call it the lizard brain. And then you got the higher cognitive brain. So when you understand how these two operating systems work independently and how they work together, then it opens up your understanding of why you make decisions that you make. So it's a very powerful lesson. That's why I put it out. Do you recommend Python or JavaScript as the first programming language for web dev? For web dev, it's JavaScript all the way. If I don't get a YouTube notification called Uncle Stef live from the chamber, I'll be disappointed. That's a good title, actually. I'll take a screenshot from that. I like that. Hello. Oh, wait. Did you see Marty sent to the shadow Ryu in the last 60 seconds of UFC title fight? Hello. Yeah, I saw only a highlight. I have yet to see the fight. So yeah. You snooze, we lose. Thank you. Ricardo, you know when people tell you no. Have you thought about making your courses GI Bill approved? You have an influx of students. No, I never looked into that. I thought about it years ago, but I never actually pursued it. Steph, I hope you're feeling better. Stop by to say hi. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by. How are we doing here? Greetings from Australia. Well, greetings. Argentina. What type of martial arts do you do? Well, I did. I don't practice too much, except a little bit on my own now. So when I was 10 years old, I did judo. I did that. Did a little bit of competition judo. Then I did a style of Japanese karate. Then 2 styles. I forget the first one. I was quite young. I was like 11 or 12 or something. 12. Then I did Kyokushin. Then Taekwondo. WTF Taekwondo. And then I did Catch Cambo. I got my black belt in that. Then I did a bunch of stuff. Muay Thai, boxing, white crane, freestyle wrestling, Kali a bit. Over the years, Wing Chun Kung Fu for a few years. Did a bunch of things. Aikido even. They all have something to offer. It depends what you're looking for. If you want to learn how to fight, you do MMA, or you do like Muay Thai, boxing, or you do judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. So that's what I've done. Python helped me to understand JavaScript. Indeed. Double guns. Small kin fun. Aloha from Hawaii. Get better soon. Hey, how are you? Well, see you in the next stream. Next week, maybe. Mentoring. Learn the basics HTML, CSS, JS. What's the DOM? Don't think I am ready. Laugh out loud. That's what she said. Okay. The DOM is short for Document Object Model. It is basically the structure, the programmatic structure of a web page. So you have the document is the web page, the object is the objects in the web page, and the model. The model means, like, think of like an actual model. You know how they'll make a model airplane, and which would be representative, like a small version of the big real airplane. So the document object model is a model that is object-based of the document. And the document is referring to an HTML page. And once you understand the DOM, when you're a DOM walker, as I say, you can walk the DOM, you use JavaScript code to navigate through the DOM, and that's how you can make things appear and disappear. You can change text size, add color, do all kinds of different things. You can manipulate it with JavaScript. We'll create menus, collapse them, all kinds of different things. What does programmer take to cure his code? Vitamin C++. There you go. Document object. Oh, yes, exactly. Stef, if you created a programming language, would it be called Ruby++? No, I would call it Diamonds++. That's what I'd call it. There you go. Your joke was better. A virtual map of the web page. Yeah, that was better. Nice, succinct. That's a better way of saying it. Yeah, I agree with that. A virtual map of the web page. I'm a current DevOps engineer. Let me pause this for a second. I'm a current DevOps engineer wondering if software engineering is less stressful than the on-call culture I'm currently in. Also, this is my first engineering job. Worked in tech support before. Depends on the software development job. That's usually a negotiated position where you say, well, I'm on call or not. As you become more senior, it's just a luck of the draw. I know, like Matthew, for example, he got his new job, but I don't believe he's on call. I have other friends who are highly experienced, but they got a very high-paying job. You usually get paid more if you take a job where you're on call as a software engineer. That's a negotiated position, really, whether you're on call. How's your TCM going? I've been using it to recover from a concussion. Yeah, let me know how that goes for you. I don't know. It's hard to say. I've been on it a week and 2 days. It's a week, 2 days? A week and 2 days, I think it is now. And in the last week and a half or so, my condition has improved quite a bit. I don't know if it's because of the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, for people who don't know. I don't know if it's because of that. It could be because of that. It could be because it's just progressively just getting better. It could be because of all the vitamins I'm taking. I'm like, it's like I'm eating a bowl of vitamins and different nutrients. Vitamin D, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin B6, all kinds of different things. I got a whole, I'll bring it out next stream. I got a big armful of vitamins I've been taking. So it could be that, but it seems, coincidentally, if you will, or at least it seems to be having an impact, or at least I'm getting better while I'm on it. We'll say that. Hey, Stef, big fan here. Do you have any advice for someone who is trying to learn web dev dealing with ADHD? I set myself on a tight schedule, yet it's taking me way longer time than recommended. Yeah, I would, you may want to get the Lizard Wizard course that will help you with that big time. Also, too, basic advice. You want to start training your brain to be able to be focused for a little bit longer. So it's an incremental exposure to that. ADHD, attention deficit disorder. Okay, so if I've read that right, correct me if I'm wrong. So what I recommend, you start off 20 minutes a day, 4 days a week, maybe 5. Take a break in between. So go Monday, Tuesday, take Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday. If you do that, what happens is you set yourself an easy bar to hit. So even though you may have attention issues or laziness issues, other people may have that, by setting an easy bar, it makes it emotionally easier to just start. So that would be the first tip. But again, not to sell you the course, but you may want to take a look at the Lizard Wizard, or at least do Lizard Wizard KOMODO, which is free, down below. You can sign up. Anybody can sign up. Oh, by the way, everybody, I do have a Discord, and we got over 2,500 members. I invite you to join the Discord. Link is below. And so it's a pretty good place to meet other people. Got all kinds of people, all kinds of members in there, different levels of skill. Excuse me, a very friendly group. In the 90s, the only resource were books for me, mostly language references. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's it. Hey, Danny, how are you? Greetings from Quebec City. Yeah, very cool. We got some Québécois ce soir. Calique, c'est beau. Hey, Stef, thank you for your videos. No problem. Thanks for watching them. I enjoyed doing them. They will be also my partners during my recent decision to make coding part of my life. I have a long road to go to. Hey, congratulations. Making that decision's the hard part. So yeah, just follow along step by step, a little bit every day. If there's days where you don't feel like it, just do the 20 minutes and then move on. You're going to hit some roadblocks, there's no question, but that's okay, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth much, right? It wouldn't be worth much. So what else do we have here? Is learning C++ and OpenGL at the same time a good idea? Learn C++ basics and then jump into OpenGL. Muay Thai student here. Very cool. Tough stuff. Tough stuff. That will get you in shape. Hi, Stef. Hope you're having a great weekend. Having a very good weekend. Thanks for asking. Hope everybody on the stream is having a great weekend. It's cool. I started to learn C# recently. It's so hard to focus on a daily basis. Any tips to learn effectively? I talked about that. Try to do at least 20 minutes a day, every day, and slowly but surely you'll gain more skill and knowledge. I've been programming daily for 10 years, usually full stack, but I never held the software engineer position. I convinced my manager to change my title to software engineer. Is that a good move? Why not? Why not? In the corporate world, titles make a big difference, by the way. Especially as you get higher and higher, you need to demonstrate less and less actual technical skill and more interpersonal skill. So I know a guy who BS'd his way to a very high level, and I'm not advocating for that, but it was quite amazing to behold. And once he got to that level, he didn't have to have technical skill. So he lied and said he had the technical skill, but he didn't. And then he got through that stage by just working with people who were technically competent. And then he got to a higher level where he's so high level and abstract now, he doesn't have to demonstrate technical skill. Good on him. Hey, Steph, you meant the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Yeah, exactly. I found it after I came up with the name, but diamonds are forever. Remember the possibility of psychosomatic issues. Psychosomatic. Good song. No, they're not psychosomatic, trust me. Oh, no. People forget all other applications of Python besides data science. There are tons of Python Django jobs in the industry that are dying to be filled, not to mention scripting for DevOps and such. Yeah, you find a lot of scripting jobs in Python, but there are Python Django jobs. Depends on where you are in terms of availabilities, but I've had people I know had difficulty finding Python DevOps jobs. Actually, dev jobs. Actually, you know what? You did have, you're on here. You did have a Python dev job, but you didn't want to move, right? I am a business architect, but I lost passion for that. I want to go full developer. So jump into it, man. Jump into it. It's a bowl, yeah, big bowl of vitamins, huge. I don't need to eat, it's one meal a day, just the vitamins, unbelievable. I'm very beginner. Is solving leak code problems worth it? I've been on it since yesterday, and it's very hard to even do the diff. Was easy, even though the diff was easy. I would no, I'm not a big believer. I've never, just do real things, man. Yeah. Check out my courses. You learn 10 times faster. But I'm biased. Okay. We have a super chat. So let me just get to that before anything happens. Pure character bowing down saying thank you. Appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I couldn't land. Well, hold on. Didn't you land a Python job, Matthew, and then didn't take it because you had to move? If my memory serves me. I'm 27. If I start, by what time I'll be full stack developer with high level knowledge? Well, you can get a job within 6 months to a year, but you'll be entry level. I had one, but I lived in Cali, so they wouldn't hire me. Oh, yeah, but that was not because of your skill. It's because of the legal situation. So you would have had the job if you weren't living in California. Hello. I'm unable to do hard DSA questions, so what should I do? Study more. What's your advice for learning data structures and algorithms for coding interviews for larger companies and FANG companies? Thank you. Well, I don't think FANG company is going to hire somebody who's never written software before. So have you written software before? I don't know. Yeah, one thing to tell people, most coding doesn't require day-to-day use of algorithms or much beyond the basics in terms of data structures. So I'm not a big proponent of that stuff, but some places will test you. So you have to find out in advance what they're testing for. And then you could probably find, I don't know, if you're going after Google, you say examples of Google data structure and algorithm tests. Search for that in Google, and you'll probably find some answers from people who've done it before. Take it from there. Oh, it's over an hour. All right. I'll answer one or two questions and I'm out of here. Hey, it's me again. I heard boilerplate code is bad practice. I'm noticing I'm doing it. But what are your tips for reducing boilerplate? No, boilerplate code. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Boilerplate code is very, very useful because it saves you from making errors. Once you have, that's what, I would consider frameworks boilerplate code, because once it's structured, it's clean, it's bug-free, you're not going to introduce bugs into code that's already written. So I don't know. I have to understand the context of that suggestion. So I don't consider it necessarily bad practice. How do startup founders determine salary? Whoa. Depends on a bunch of factors. Depends on their budgets. Depends on the supply demand of this talent in the area. So there you go. Hi from Tinkerbell Magic Kingdom. He's from Disney. All right. All right, guys and girls. Thanks for joining the stream. It's now Getting pretty late. I've been on this for over an hour. I enjoyed it, but my throat's going, ah. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you soon. I hope this stream was useful. If it was, leave me a comment under the video. If you have any questions regarding this that you would want to have answered in the next stream, leave it in YouTube, comment under the video. And don't be afraid to share and like. All right. I'll leave you with my ASMR boat. Cheers, guys.